Hello, Eurovision fans. Thank you so much for coming to my channel, Eurovision Histories. Today, I want to update my prediction for the automatic finalists of Eurovision 2023, the Big Five and Ukraine, at the request of one of my subscribers. So this one is for you, ST. Thank you for the nice comments. But I'm sure many of you will be interested in this. I have, of course, already done predictions for both semifinals, so check those out. But I have not updated my predictions for the Big Five and Ukraine since my rating videos. I think all of these are really hard to predict, actually. So there will be a lot of pro-contra going on in this video. And my prediction is not set in stone. I will tell you all of my doubts I have about each one of these. But yeah, I think these are some of the most difficult countries to predict, actually. So let's get right to it. First, I have my own country, which is Germany, Lord of the Lost, Blood and Glitter. I was really happy when they won the German national final because I think we have a good shot at doing quite well. The thing is, this kind of performance can go either way, I think. I think this could be a lower top 10 result, but it might also fall a bit flat with the general audience and not get that many points. I think the growling, the whole aesthetics of the song might put some people off, but it will of course also be very appealing to many others. They do have a big fan base as well, and I think lots of rock fans will vote for this. I'm also not sure about the juries. I think this will get a pretty good televote. We are not coming last, I hope, with this. But with the juries, I'm not 100% sure because the composition of the song could be seen as a bit weak by some juries. I don't agree, but I think some of them could interpret it that way. And the costumes, I think, could be a bit better sometimes. And I do think that the stage performance needs to have a lot of energy. I'm waiting for the rehearsals quite impatiently, actually, because I want to see them go up in the odds and kind of become one of the favorites for a top 10 position. But from the pre-parties, I did like the energy. I do like the performance. They're obviously very professional and have a lot of experience. But the spark is not 100% there yet for me. But maybe that's because I am expecting so much, and I'm also kind of preparing myself not to be too disappointed if they don't do that well. My prediction is therefore, you might say that's not really a prediction, but from 8th place to 20th place. I think a lot of things can happen here. If the stage show is really effective, it can be a lower top 10. If it isn't and it falls flat, it might do quite poorly, actually. But I'm hoping for the best. And one thing I wanted to mention, I do think that a lot of televote-friendly songs will make it through the semifinals, and that might not be good for Germany, for the UK, because they also have quite televote-friendly songs. And especially this year, we have Slovenia, Latvia, Australia, Croatia that also have male-led bands with a rocky sound, very different genres, of course, but that might also be a bit detrimental to Germany this year. All right, but then again, Måneskin and Blind Channel both did really well, and they didn't really steal votes from each other, so what do I know? Next up, we have Zarra and Évidemment. I'm really looking forward to this performance because I do think she's incredibly professional. France will have an impactful performance. We see the music video already being quite interesting and quite similar to what they probably will put on stage. She has a lot of flair and style, and that will help a lot. I think this is a song that can do really well with the juries and also get a good televote. So that is why I'm predicting lower top 5 or a lower top 10. I don't think this will do worse because I do think that the juries will support this quite a lot. Next up, this is kind of the hardest one for me. Blanca Paloma, EaEa. Before the Spanish fans say that I'm hating Spain or Spanish culture or anything like that, I love Spain. I love Spanish culture. I want Spain to win as soon as possible. This is a prediction. I don't personally like the song that much because I think it's too intense and I just don't get into it enough. but I'm trying to predict its chances. And this is really hard this year because it is doing quite well in the odds. It's fourth in the odds. It's sixth in the Eurovision scoreboard where 40,000 fans have voted. So I have to let that influence my prediction because I'm trying to be as objective as possible. However, I am sticking for now before the rehearsals with my prediction, which is 10 to 15. Why? First of all, I think this is a song that is not accessible enough for the general audience, especially for an audience that will listen to this for the very first time on final night, because we are talking about the big five and they always have the disadvantage of only being performed once. People will need a long time to understand what is actually happening here and might not find the song accessible and catchy enough to remember it and to vote for it. And then there's also the part where the juries in the past have not rewarded ethnically influenced songs. And EaEa is definitely ethnically influenced. I do think she will get quite a few points because of the vocal performance, because of her impressive personal performance and emotions. And that will help her with the juries, which is why I'm not putting her lower. But I'm kind of not seeing her in the top 10 and definitely not in the top 5 for these reasons. Now, I might be completely wrong, and I might change my opinion once I have seen the performance as such, because it might be like a Salvador Sobral moment where it just hits you emotionally more than the Benidorm Fest performance maybe. But for the moment, I'm sticking with 10 to 15. Mae Muller, I wrote a song for the United Kingdom. She has the advantage of being on home ground, which will help. She was the best at the London Eurovision party, but the other pre-party performances were a bit underwhelming vocally when it comes to the dancing and all kinds of other things. So they can work on it, they can put on a great show, and it will be helped by being performed in Liverpool on home ground. But my prediction is 15 to 25. This could actually, do quite poorly, I think, and be in the bottom 5. I'm a bit scared of that. I really don't want that to happen. Don't understand me wrong. This is a prediction. I really want the UK to do well, to stay on the path they are on since Sam Ryder, because we need a strong UK in Eurovision, I think. But this song and performance, and vocal performance especially, doesn't lend itself to a very high placing. And we also have to remember the other songs and the competition, which is stronger, I think. The song itself could do really well with the juries and also with the televote if it was performed very slick and very well. Then I might change my prediction, and I'm waiting for the rehearsals for that. But for the moment, I'm thinking this might do the worst of the automatic qualifiers, actually. Marco Mengoni Due Vite, another one where it's hard for me to be objective because I just love him so much and I have loved him for 10 years. Let me explain to you why I am predicting 3rd to 8th place, which is quite specific. Lower top 10 could be another prediction. So he will have one of the only ballads and one of the only very typical standard traditional ballads, which is why a lot of people think this will not do well because it's just too boring, according to them. But let's say the Netherlands don't make it through semifinal 1. Let's say maybe even Switzerland doesn't make it through semifinal 1. And then Estonia and Lithuania are the only real other ballads in the final. People that love a good ballad will go to this. He is an amazing vocal performer. The emotion in his face will just connect to people quite a lot. He's doing quite well in the preview shows in a lot of the Northern European countries, which I was a bit surprised about, because I thought this was the kind of song and performance for a more Southern European audience. So I do think that he will profit a lot from being one of the only ballads and from being such a professional performer. He's a superstar in Italy. There is Italian diaspora. He's a Sanremo winner, which is always a plus. And Italy, if they send a Sanremo winner, has never done worse than, I think 8th place would probably be the lowest for a long, long time. They did worse in some years, but that's when they didn't send a winner of Sanremo. So I am sticking with it. I think Italy will be in the top 10 again and might be in the top 3 even if he really performs well, and also if he has a good running order position. Then we have Tvorchi with Heart of Steel. This is, again, very hard to predict because it kind of depends on whether people support Ukraine because of the situation in the country, the horrible situation going on there. Of course, they got the highest televote total ever, and I think that will stay the highest televote total forever, probably. And that might happen again this year. They have a big diaspora as well. Lots of people had to, unfortunately, leave Ukraine and now live in other countries and can vote for their own entry. I do think that the song is not strong enough to win. Stefania would have been in the winner conversation anyway last year and might have won even without the situation going on in Ukraine. So what I'm predicting is 2-8. I do think the televote will be massive. And if it is massive, this can actually come second. Again, I don't think this will win because the song is just not strong enough. And that brings me to the end of this video. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my predictions. Let me know where I'm wrong and where I'm right. I would like to have arguments. Don't just say you're wrong, you're an idiot. That doesn't help me at all to change my opinion. And again, I will try to update this video during Eurovision week after we've seen the performances. So subscribe to my channel and I'll see you for my next video. Bye bye.